Thanks for joining us on First News at 4. Today was the day that we've been waiting for. They opened the ballot boxes from the November election, hoping to get some answers to the ballot recount confusion. Our Sammy Steele has been at the Midland County Annex all day, and it has been far from the answers that we were looking for. Sammy, what can you tell us so far? What's going on out there?
Hey, good afternoon, Crystal and Victor. So it has been a wild day here at the Annex. This morning, we were looking for answers, and it seems now we're just looking for more answers and more clarity. The water was already pretty muddy this morning, and now it seems it's just gotten muddier. So this is what we know. They have gone through, the people here at the election office have gone through every single ballot from early voting here at the Annex. Now, why did they choose this location? That's because that is where the PACs for the bond, who did the recount November 22nd, found the 820 vote or ballot discrepancy. So that is why they started here at the with those ballots at the Annex. Now I'm gonna pull up someone here who is from the Better Bond for Midland, and she was a part of that recount process on November 22nd. If you want to come on over here. Kenny K, if you want to tell us your name.
So Kenny K. Butts.
So walk us through that recount in November.
Sure. So in November, it was Friday morning. We all came up here about 8:30. There were 9 counting teams. The counting teams consisted of a person from Better Bond for Midland, so the opposition, as well as the 4, which was Yes for Children or Yes for Kids, and then as well as a neutral, non-party official at the table, and as well as poll watchers that were able to be on at the tables on both sides, and were able to circulate as well.
So you feel like you had a pretty good grasp on the numbers you were counting that day with the ballots. You feel like there wasn't any mistake on the recount part.
Well, I think there can always be some mistake. I mean, when you've got 9 teams all over the room, people in and out with boxes and signing off on other things, as well as poll watchers walking around, there could be some confusion. There was also some confusion because there were several things that happened throughout the day that we weren't planning on. Okay, so as far as some of the votes, they the election judge had to make a call on votes. Usually when you go and you check in, you get your vote, an election official stamps your vote, right? And then you take it and you turn it in. That way you know it's official. So I couldn't tell you off of hand. There's probably over 300 of those ballots that did not have an election official stamp on them. Or it didn't have election stamp on the back. Technically, Secretary of State says it needs to be on the back. There were some that were on the front, but more importantly, there was about 300. The majority of those actually coming from this location as well, the election county for the Annex. And so that was concerning. So that took some time away, took some poll watchers that should have been watching what was going on. Instead, we had to go make copies. That took over 4 hours to make copies of those front and back.
So you were here. It sounds like you went through a lot that day. There was a lot of moving pieces.
There was a lot of moving pieces.
And then today you're witnessing more of those moving pieces as people are going through those ballots again.
Right.
And then they found 6,126 ballots, which is 20 ballots less than you found.
Right.
Does that surprise you?
I can't say that anything at this point surprises me, just because this whole process has just been a ebb and flow of different, putting out fires or more fires being created just along the way. I don't think it's intentional. I don't think any of that, nobody that was sitting in here that day, everybody worked really hard, but there was confusion in and out of the tables. We had to sort them because we decided to count them based on where the polling was in
the location.
And to divide them up. So I think that, caused, they weren't prepared. Actually, up here was not prepared for that when we came in. So it did throw the process back a little bit. Like we said, we were doing this until the wee hours of the morning. We were up here until at least midnight just counting the actual ballots. After that, there was, several of us up here. Then we did the tally sheet. So then we had to go through each tally sheet, break them down by district, precinct.
So it's a
and go
lot.
from there. Yeah,
It's a
we didn't
lot
leave
of
here
numbers.
Until we finished up about 3:34 in the morning. At that point, we were missing that 820 votes that we could not figure out where it came from. At that point, that's when we went and got the attention of Miss Land. We went through trying to figure out boxes, serial numbers, because we're thinking that we're missing a whole box.
Yeah.
That's a lot of votes to just...
A lot of votes to go through
missing.
all 17 locations. Just to give the viewer a little bit of background on that, just today, they were just going through early voting, an early voting location, and they started around 9 and they wrapped up around an hour ago. I really appreciate the time.
Sure.
I'm sure we will try to get some more answers.
Appreciate it. Yeah, for everybody.
Exactly. Like she said, we are just trying to find more answers. There's a lot of unknown still happening, and we're just trying to figure it out. So coming up at 5, we're going to try to find more of those answers, clear up some of that muddy water, and we'll be updating you on newswest9.com. We're going to continue this live stream, and then also you can look for updates on Newswest 9's app. Download that now for the latest on this election. Reporting in Midland, Sammy Steele, Newswest 9.